Welcome to PROFITIZE training video. In this video, you will learn how to enter rent income in PROFITIZE. Click on the Transactions tab. Click on the Add Transactions button. Click on the Show More button. Click on the Services button. Click on the Rent button. Click on the Received Rent button. Click on the Rent Now button. Click on the Received Fully at Start of Rent Period button if this is true. Otherwise, click on any one of the other buttons as appropriate. Now that you have successfully answered all category questions regarding the transaction related to the rent income, you will need to start entering other details of your transaction in the input fields. Note that input fields with asterisks are required fields, where you must enter data. Required input fields are followed by optional input fields, where you should enter as much data as possible. Click on Amount including VAT, Required Input field. Enter, or select from the searchable drop-down list, the amount including VAT. In this example, let's select $17.25 from the searchable drop-down list. Click on the calendar icon to select rent period start date. In the date picker, select the rent period start date. In this example, let's click on July 1st, 2024. Click outside the date picker to confirm the selected date. Click on the Next button to move to the next screen. Click on the VAT amount required input field to enter the VAT amount. Enter, or select from the searchable drop-down list, the VAT amount. In this example, let's click on $225 from the searchable drop-down list. Click on the Tenant business name required input field to enter the tenant's business name. Enter, or select from the searchable drop-down list, the tenant's business name. In this example, let's click on Tenant XYZ Limited, from the searchable drop-down list. Click on the Next button to move to the next screen. Now, you will be asked to enter data in optional input fields, where you should enter as much data as possible to gain more insights on your business. Click on the Tenant Contact Name optional input field to enter the tenant's contact name. Enter, or select from the searchable drop-down list, the tenant contact name. In this example, let's click on Jane, from the searchable drop-down list. Click on the Rent Agreement Number optional input field to enter the rent agreement number. Enter, or select from the searchable drop-down list, the rent agreement number, if available. In this example, let's click on a rent agreement number from the searchable drop-down list. Click on the Next button to move to the next screen. Click on the Name of Bank Credited optional input field to enter the name of the bank credited. Don't enter anything in this field if you received cash rent. Enter, or select from the searchable drop-down list, the name of bank credited, unless you received cash rent. In this example, let's assume your rent income was deposited in your bank. In this example, let's click on My Bank from the searchable drop-down list. Click on the Bank Account Number optional input field to enter the bank account number. In this example, let's assume your rent income was deposited in your bank. Either enter, or select from the searchable drop-down list, your bank account number. In this example, let's click on this bank account number from the searchable drop-down list. Click on the Next button to move to the next screen. Click on the Rent Amount Due optional input field to enter the rent amount due. Either enter, or select from the searchable drop-down list, the rent amount due. In this example, let's click on the rent amount due of $17.50 from Fee searchable drop-down list. Click on the calendar icon to select the rent due date. Click on, for example, July 1st, 2024 from the date picker to set the rent due date. Click on the Next button to move to the next screen. Click on the Type of Fuel optional input field to enter the type of fuel. This is a very important field. Either enter, or select from the searchable drop-down list, the type of fuel or the energy source. In this example, let's click on Electricity from Fee searchable drop-down list. Click on the Next button to move to the next screen. Click on the Notes optional input field to enter any additional information or comments about the transaction. Click on the Upload Docs optional input button to attach any relevant or important document related to the transaction you entered. Click on the Next button to move to the next screen. Click on the Finish button to complete the transaction process. Click on the Transactions tab to view the list view of all transactions, including the transaction you just entered. This is the list view of your transactions. Your most recent transaction summary is highlighted on top. Click on the middle of this transaction summary to view more details on this transaction in its page view. This is the transactions page view. Move the scroll bar up and down to inspect the transaction details under Details, and under Management Data. If you want to enter a similar transaction related to rent income, click on the Repeat button. A similar transaction means a transaction where your responses to the PROFITIZE category questions will be identical to your responses to the category questions of the transaction you just entered in PROFITIZE. If you click the Repeat button, PROFITIZE will not ask you the category questions for the new transaction. Instead, PROFITIZE will bring you straight to the required input fields for the new transaction you want to enter. Use the Repeat button only if you are sure that the transaction you are about to enter in PROFITIZE is identical to the transaction you want to enter in terms of your responses to the PROFITIZE category questions. In this video, you learned how to manually enter rent income in PROFITIZE. For more training videos, visit PROFITIZE YouTube channel.